podcast made by basketball fans for basketball fans. From the hottest takes, news, analysis, and passion for the sport that we all love, this is the Fast Break Pod with Finn James and Will Tremaine. Welcome into the Fast Break Podcast, the podcast made by basketball fans
for basketball fans.
Finn James,
Will Tremaine.
Back again, another episode. We've reached episode 17, and you know what? We said if the Breakers lost, we wouldn't be back, but I mean, we're here anyway. A lot to unpack.
We were never going to leave.
We were never actually going to leave.
We were just going to drag their name through the mud. But
whoa.
Maybe not.
We'll get into it. Obviously, NBL Round 13. We're in the midst of it. Right in the middle of it. But there's a lot to unpack, of course. William Tremaine, World News. Where are we?
Started off with a little bit, was fresh on the mind. Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury took place this morning in, was it Saudi Arabia?
Probably. That's where it all is now.
And Usyk, yet again, got the best of Fury. He won this one by unanimous decision. I think it was 116, 112 on all three judges' scorecards. Fair decision, if you ask me. Fury was upset with it, as you'd expect him to be.
Why wouldn't you be?
But yeah, I think the right man won this one. And you know what this means, Finn? The winner of Joseph Parker, Kiwi's own, the New Zealand's own,
had a pretty good year.
Versus Daniel Dubois is set for January at some point. Might be February. But the winner of that has already been said that they will be facing Usyk for the undisputed heavyweight world championship.
Damn.
So that's big
Joseph
news.
Parker,
if Joseph,
finally,
if he can get over the
line. Coming
line.
back, bro. He's coming back.
You know, he was a world champion at 26 years old. And then he lost his title to Anthony Joshua. And ever since then, some people called it game over for Joseph Parker, but he's slowly been rebuilding his career, and now he's put himself in a good position. One more win, and he gets that shot at the title. But he is facing a very tough opponent, Daniel Dubois, who knocked out Anthony Joshua a couple months ago. So this guy's dangerous. He's already fought Usyk, so that would be a rematch if they have a fight. And he gave Usyk problems, probably Usyk's toughest fight to date.
Damn.
So yeah, it'll be a tough one for Joe, but obviously we'll be back home here rooting for him to get the job done.
Do you think he has a chance?
100%. He's looked phenomenal in his last couple of fights. You know, he beat Deontay Wilder. No one really had him winning that fight. Just pieced him apart all 12 rounds.
Yeah.
12-0 on some of the judges' scorecards. I don't think anyone saw that coming, and he really re-announced himself after that one. And then obviously fought the Big Bang Zhang from China.
Remember that.
He got knocked down twice in that one, but outside of those two moments, he was just piecing up Zhang as well. And yeah, he got the decision in that one. So a couple of big wins for Joseph Parker. And who knows? Usyk could be dethroned. It'll be interesting to stay up to date with that, Finn.
That could also come off the back of David Nika getting a world title fight, obviously, in January. Yes. He could be a world champ too.
Yeah.
We could have two.
That's going to be massive.
David Nika, imagine. He only just came onto the scene recently too.
Yeah, I mean, he was fighting on this card, but the champion Jai Opetaia, his opponent, pulled out with injury, and they gave David Nika the short notice call up. He accepted. So yeah, now he's fighting a fellow Trans-Tasman rivalry going on there with Jai Opetaia, who's an absolute beast. So that'll be a good one to watch as well.
Absolutely. A little bit more A-League action. Auckland FC. They couldn't do it all year, Will. Let's be honest here. It was impossible.
It was inevitable.
In their inaugural season, there was no chance they could ever go undefeated. They've lost the game. 4-0. 4-0 to Western United. I think at home as well. Mount Smart Stadium.
Was it?
Pretty sure. 4-0.
Where are Western United on the table? Are they a good team, though?
You're asking the wrong person. This is a basketball podcast, not a football one. Phoenix currently playing. Can we get a score update? Well, I think you had it up before. I did. Just give us a quick score update. This will be.
They were down 2-0 when we last checked. Let's have a look where they currently are. They have lost 4-1. So two big hidings for the Kiwis.
Not a good week for the Kiwi teams in the A-League, but that is all right. It's only one round. Auckland FC, I'm pretty sure, still in that top of the table. I'm not sure who's second. You're on the wrong podcast if you're looking for football. Huge news in motorsport world for Kiwis, Will.
Yeah, Liam Lawson, obviously Kiwi raised, homegrown talent. Pukekohe, he's got the call up to the big team, Finn. Red Bull Racing.
Who would have thought?
Alongside Max Verstappen, the greatest racing driver at current times. Oh, don't worry, I wasn't going to say all time. So it's going to be very, very tough competition with his teammate next year at Red Bull. But hopefully he can maybe go out there and get a race win at some point. It'd be lovely to see the New Zealand national anthem get played up on the podium there, Finn.
Liam Lawson winning a Grand Prix next year could be one of the greatest moments in sporting Kiwi motorsport. I wouldn't say history, but for next year, if he wins a Grand Prix next year, it would put him up for a Hellberg Award, which is our New Zealand sporting award. So,
and it's very possible because
absolutely.
I mean he's in one of the fastest cars. I mean I think McLaren do have the faster car now.
Okay.
But Red Bull are right up there still. So
he's already proven how talented he is too with his time with RB.
Yeah.
He's done some pretty good things. Got a few points. He's done well for a youngster. I just hope the fame doesn't get to his head.
No. I mean, that was an interesting thing you just mentioned, actually, about the Hallbergs, Finn. Next year could be a very, very close race for that Hallberg. What is it?
The Supreme
Sportsman
Award.
of the Year.
Sportsman of the Year.
When you have Liam Lawson, if he goes out there and gets a couple Grand Prix wins, and then you have Joseph Parker, if he was going to get the title win over Usyk. Who are you going to give it to there, Finn?
Don't know.
Be interesting to keep up to date with.
Absolutely. That's all for the World News team. NBL Round 13. Like I said, we're in the midst of it, right in the middle of it, basically. We got a few Christmas Day games. We got a Christmas Eve game as well, and one on the 23rd. So they haven't happened just yet. However, the games that have happened now, there's been some pretty entertaining ones. Opening game of the round was the Breakers versus the Kings, which we will get into very shortly. But the game following that, Bullets versus Taipans. Very, very close game here. Well, 107-104. Bullets get up. Kens still that wooden spooner team with 3 wins.
Yeah.
Poor guys.
They've locked in that bottom of the table spot.
Are you sure?
100% sure.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
I mean, the Bullets, 3-point win. You'd like to see a bit more of a dominant win for them. They've obviously climbed into the top 6 now, I believe. But on a bit of a roll. Casey Prather, Finn. Casey Prather, 35 points in this one. He's looking like he's back in his prime.
Classic Casey Prather. Obviously had a little stint back in, I think, 2017. I don't know. I think it might have been on Perth. He's been on the Bullets this year. I'd say a relatively quiet first half of the year. 35 points tonight. And if we look back at his 6 games, the past 6 games, Casey Prather averaging 28.3 points in his last 6 games.
Couple 30 pieces in there as well. 33 against Adelaide, 31 versus Perth. Not had a bad night in a few weeks now, Casey Prather.
Nah.
And it's good because, I mean, they're winning now. So if he keeps that up, and they have Keandre Cook as well, who added 30 points in this one.
And they have James Bateman, their third import. Obviously had that 51-point game earlier on in the year. Tyrell Harrison there too.
It's tough looking.
They won the Blitz.
Yeah.
We've talked about this before. You never know.
Who knows?
You never know. Can they top the Hawks and United? Well, unlikely. However, it's good signs out of Brisbane. Obviously, they were struggling quite a bit at the start of the year, but it looks like they've sort of turned it around. Rob Edwards for Cairns on the night, 27. Slightly inefficient, as always, with Rob Edwards, as we've discussed multiple times.
I did a couple standout games here and there. But
puts up good numbers,
yeah.
But, overall doesn't shoot the best from the field. But, yeah, pretty decent game to kind of get us started here. 107-104 for the Bullets. But what was the next game? Bit of Southeast Melbourne, Phoenix, Adelaide 36's action, Will?
Yeah, this one, 108 to Southeast Melbourne, 86 to the Adelaide 36ers.
Wasn't expecting that.
No, I wasn't expecting that one either. Big win for the Southeast Melbourne Phoenix. Actually, a guy that I had as a sleeper pick for MVP at the start of the season, and although it has been looking like a real, sleeper pick, Derek Walton Jr., he did have a very impressive game in this one. His best game of the season yet, Finn. 28, 6 and 6. So a very well-rounded game. Impacting the court everywhere.
He's done well. And this is what we should have expected from Derek Walton this entire season as well. So, it's good to see him, put up some decent numbers. Obviously, he had a really good stint on Sydney a couple years back. I thought him coming back into the league, he was going to kind of take off from that season. And kind of, he was familiar with the league. Obviously, things weren't clicking in Southeast Melbourne at the start of the year. Obviously, the new coach coming in has definitely improved them. They've gone into that top 6 as well. Matt Hurt continuing his scoring prowess, 23 points. Southeast Melbourne, little sleepers as well. They're probably going to be in that play-in tournament, halfway through the season. They're looking like they're sorting things out. Obviously, the new coach coming in has definitely helped them too.
I think the Adelaide 36ers are inevitably going to end up in that top 6
I
as well,
agree.
Finn.
Too much talent.
Too much
We've
talent.
talked about it before.
Kendrick Davis in this one continued his good form, 24 points. The rest of Adelaide struggled in this one, though.
Yeah.
And that's what can't happen if Adelaide want to be title contenders. They need at least 2 or 3 guys stepping up, having a good game.
Yeah, it's just unfortunate. Obviously, DJ out with that hamstring injury still. So they're obviously missing probably their second option. Montrez was a little bit more quiet in this one. You obviously need someone else to step up. And obviously, a 20-point loss. No one else really did. But we've talked about it before. Adelaide probably have the best big three in the league with Kendrick 100%. Davis, DJ, and Montrez. Obviously, when one of them goes down, they're not the deepest team in the league, so they obviously tend to struggle a little bit. But
I'd like to see some more from Isaac Humphries as well. You know, before Montrez came in, he was really looking
good.
like they still had. I would say they still had the best big three in the league
up there
with Humphries. Obviously, Montrez came in and that impacted his role a lot. But if he can step it up again a bit more, they have 4 top players in the NBL. They're going to be a problem.
Yeah, absolutely. Come playoff time as well, Isaac Humphries with a heap of experience, been in the league for a number of years now. Kendrick Davis, one of the most prolific scorers in this league for sure.
I'm calling it now, Finn. Kendrick Davis is going to win MVP. I think for me right now, it's a 2-way race. Kendrick Davis and Bryce Cotton.
Yeah.
And I think Adelaide are going to finish higher than Perth. Kendrick and Bryce are going to have similar stats. I'm going to go Kendrick Davis for MVP. Obviously, it's not going to be Derek Walton like I may have said with a sleeper pick earlier in the year. But I've really fell in love with Kendrick Davis's game. So
it's funny because I honestly knew nothing about him.
Neither.
Coming to this season, obviously the only other professional experience he had was on the Warriors G League team last year. Couldn't tell you his stats, couldn't tell you how good he was. Obviously, I don't watch the G League. However, he's come in and his game has translated really, really well. One of those small, shifty guards, shoots the ball well, good passer, very quick, gets the rim well. Sort of like a PJC game-esque to an extent, but I feel like Bryce Cotton. I feel like he shoots a little bit better from 3 than PJC, but definitely reminds me of one of those smaller guards who loves to score. So definitely with him, DJ, and Montrez, I don't see them really falling out of that top 6. Obviously, they are at the moment. Still a heap of games left to play. Obviously, we're just over halfway through the season, so they still have a chance to kind of slip their way back. They're obviously only about 2 or 3 games behind Perth, so doing pretty well. And if we continue on to the next game, we had the Hawks versus, if I just pull it up here, because I wrote Hawks on our damn rundown. Hawks and the Wildcats. This is a bit of an interesting one here. Trey Kell, absolutely godly game from him. 31 points on the night. Classic Trey Kell, been very, very solid all year as the point guard for the Hawks, and rest of the team did pretty well. Obviously, Tyler Harvey, I think, with a 15 piece as well. Everyone just kind of was firing on all cylinders, but Perth, honestly, not a lot to give back. Obviously, Hawks with 120, Wildcats 88. Bryce Cotton.
His hot streak has ended, Finn.
Nowhere to be seen in this one.
That was inevitable as well. I mean, all things inevitably come to an end. All good things
come to an end.
And Bryce Cotton's hot streak, it came to an end in this one. 13 points. Very, very rough shooting night. 5 for 16 from the field. 0 for 7 from 3, Finn. I mean, he hits just 4 of those. That's an extra 12 points, and he has a 25-point game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he was struggling in this one, but still looking for a shot. That's what you want to see if you're a Perth fan. Just because he's had one off night, don't get your hopes down. Bryce Cotton, you know he'll be there to deliver when the moment comes. So.
He can't be good every night.
Exactly.
He can't be good every night, Will. And obviously in this one, just couldn't get it going. And even the best players in the NBA can't get going every night.
Exactly. Steph Curry the other night.
Oh, we'll get into that later on, I'm
2
sure.
points,
4
crazy.
games still to come in round 13. Melbourne United, Jack Jumpers tomorrow night. That'll probably be just about to get underway while this podcast goes live. 36 is in the Bullets on Christmas Eve, and we got 2 Christmas Day games.
Yeah.
And the Breakers are featuring
against the Tasmania Jack Jumpers. That'll be a very interesting one. And then the
bit of that rivalry, like I said.
Yeah, what do they call it? The Island.
I don't know. We were trying to make a name for it the other day.
Yeah, we were, weren't we?
The Island Cup.
The Island Cup.
That would have been good.
And then we got the Kings versus Hawks. That's a bit of a Sydney rivalry there as well. You know, Illawarra's a little bit south of Sydney, I believe. So that should be a good one.
How do you feel about Christmas Day games?
I like them. Obviously, they do them in the NBA.
They work so well in American sports.
Yeah. I think they're great over here as well for the fans. I mean, if you're with your family, which most people are on Christmas, something to turn the TV on and watch, have a geeze. Obviously, for the players, might not be ideal. You know, don't get to spend the full day with their family as they might wish. and they're not really getting paid the big bucks like they do in the NBA, which might make up for it. So it could be a bit rough on them, especially if you're the away team. I think that would definitely be a real hard one to swallow.
I mean, Breakers have to go to Tasmania on Christmas. Not a big fan. I mean, I've never been to Tassie before, but no hate to Tassie, but I ain't been before and I haven't heard anything great about it. So
I've heard it's pretty nice down there in Tasmania.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hobart,
nice wilderness.
Loshonson, or whatever the hell it's called.
I guess that's just another city, isn't it?
Yeah.
I guess in most places, you need to get out of the city to really experience a place, don't you, Finn?
Oh, I wouldn't know. I wouldn't know. I'm hoping the boys get it done, though, obviously, on Christmas Day. It'd be a good present to Will and I.
Yeah, it would. But
Put a little bow on it.
It wouldn't be much unless they win the next 4 or 5 games in a row. Then we might actually, accept that gift.
Yeah, something that will be in the favour of us, though. Tassie playing on the 23rd. 1 day break, and they're back in action.
Should be a bit depleted.
A little bit of travel as well. They'll be playing in Melbourne, so got to get up to Melbourne, then back down to Tassie. Bit of travel, bit of sore bodies. Might be in favour of the Breakers.
I mean, we're really reaching at this point, aren't we, guys?
I'm clutching at straws, Will. I'm clutching at straws.
That's where we've gotten to at this point, guys. There's not much hope for us left. I mean, obviously, we're still in with a shout, Finn. Let's not completely give up. It's tough. We've lost, is it 7 or 8 in a row now?
7.
Let's not make it 8. If we ever get to double digits, that's might be the last sighting.
If we go 0-10, then I think it will be time to pull the curtain. However, like I said every episode, there's still hope. There's still hope. We sneak into that play-in tournament, there is still hope. We'll do a little bit of table update. Of course, not much has really changed. Illawarra still at tippity top, number 1. Melbourne, obviously number 2. Sydney still 3rd. Perth, close behind at 4th. Southeast Melbourne obviously struggled at the start. They slipped into 5th, and the Bullets at 6th.
Yeah, and what stands out to me there, Finn, is that Sydney are just 1 win behind Melbourne now for that one of those top 2 spots. So we said those were pretty safe spots, but I think Sydney could snag that one away from Melbourne. They seem to be finding their rhythm, and with the amount of talent that they have on their team, it's going to be a close one between those 2 teams, I think. I think Illawarra might have locked down that number 1 spot.
Definitely going to shift around a little bit, obviously, with the Christmas Day games and the rest of the games this round. Obviously, United against Tassie tomorrow. I think you would expect United probably to get up on this one.
Yeah.
So that'll probably give them another win. And, Kings and Hawks on Christmas Day.
Finals rematch, though, might I add. Melbourne versus Tassie.
Yeah.
Tassie got the job done on them last year, so Melbourne will be out with some vengeance. That'll be a good game, that one.
Absolutely. And then that Kings versus Hawks game will obviously shift the table around a little bit too. Obviously, Sydney in 3rd place. If United get the win and Sydney don't, then it's going to stick the same, basically.
Who knows? But let's get into the game of the round. And to be fair, Finn, it wasn't that bad of a performance.
There's some positives here.
There are some positives that we will clutch at and we will grab. But inevitably,
another loss.
This one did hurt. An 8-point loss, 92-84. Sydney Kings come away with the win. We were up most of this game, Finn.
I know.
In the 4th quarter, we were up. I think it was like 4 minutes left. We were still up. And then, who else other than Alex Tui arrived?
And Jalen
got
Adams.
About 3 clutch buckets in a row for Sydney, and they never looked back. And that was all she wrote on the Breakers in this one, Finn. But take us through some other standout players.
Yeah, bit of a 4th quarter collapse, may I add. 25-15 4th quarter.
Yeah, that's where we lost it.
Not ideal, but yeah, we'll look at the positives. We'll go through the Breakers boys first. Obviously, starting lineup from Pateri Koponen on the night. PJC, Matt Mooney, Kareem Lopez, Max Starling, Taco Fall. Don't hate it. Don't love it.
Max Starling.
Max Starling has been supplying great minutes this year.
He's playing his role to perfection.
Absolutely.
I think.
Absolutely. I don't mind him starting. Taco Fall, getting the nod again. Obviously, things must be clicking in training for him to get a starting nod.
I think maybe something I'd like to see them try out is start Taco, but put Sam at the 4 next to him. I don't think Sam's deserved to lose his... I mean, he has had a couple rough games back-to-back now, Sam. But I don't think he has deserved to lose his starting spot.
No, I don't think
so
either.
Even though Taco's come in.
He was clear-cut our second-best player. Well, has been clear-cut our second-best player for the majority of this season. Yeah. For him to get sort of shipped out onto the bench, a bit harsh, in my opinion, Taco Fall coming in. To be fair, though, Taco Fall, pretty good game tonight. I'm not going to lie.
He's had a couple good games, to be fair. He's slowly, dare I say, warming up to me, Finn.
Oh, my God. It's almost like another Freddie Gillespie arc here on the Fast Break pod. Obviously, we had our fair few things to say about Freddie at the start of the year, ended up falling in love with him.
Maybe we write people off too early, Finn.
Well, we got to understand that he's come to a team halfway through the season, kicked out one of our cuties, Freddie Gillespie, and look, everything's gone downhill since acquiring him, but maybe he isn't the issue when we think about this. On the night, not gonna lie, decent performance from the boy. Looks like they're starting to figure him out a little bit on offense and defense. 15 points, 7-11 shooting. Goes along with 9 rebounds. However, the one downfall that we knew that was going to happen with Taco Fall, his ability to shoot free throws is next to none. 1 for 5 from the free throw line. Hakataco. It was in display it was in display on Friday. 1 for 5 from the free throw line. Got fouled in clutch time, which we needed both. Made 1.
And did you see Petteri Kopanen's face? The camera panned to his face during the game when Taco was shooting, and he just looked... I don't even know how to explain it. He just looked so upset, and he just knew they were going to miss.
No faith.
Absolutely, like he knew the game was over when Taco went to the line almost.
Unfortunate. Yeah. However, something very positive from Taco Fall, a plus-minus of 15 on the night.
Yeah, that's what we want to see.
That's exactly what we want to see.
That means that he's not being exposed on defense. So
as much.
I mean, like you did mention to me off pod, Finn, if the other team doesn't have a shooting big, I think it's perfect for Taco. He can sag on them a little bit more. Obviously, he's still got to come up when there's screen situations. But if their big can't shoot, I think that helps Taco out tremendously.
I think I 100% agree with you. And I think he still just needs to figure out how high he can show before getting beat. Yeah. And how... Because obviously, you can see by the end of the game, Zave Cook sort of understood what he needs to do.
He started
getting to his floater game a bit more rather than trying to attack the rim, which I think he probably was struggling with most of the night with Taco Fall there. So I think Taco just needs to adjust a little bit. Obviously, these bigs in the NBL are a lot different to the NBA, a lot smaller, a lot faster. So, Taco Fall's still figuring out a plus-minus of 15, positives to take away. He's getting looks down low, which is good. Obviously, he shoved over Kelly Lou Pepe on an AM1. Love to see
Who else in the league is shoving over Kelly Lou Pepe?
Not a single person.
And I mean, like you said, I think he sags back a bit too much on those screens. I'd like to see him come up high. If the player gets around him, at least try to learn what to do in that situation. I haven't really seen him come up and have to chase down a shot. He should trust himself a little bit more to get that chase down block if the player gets by him.
I still just don't know if he's fast enough. Like, obviously, It's an adjustment period for him still, but I think he's played 6 out of the 7 games we've had since we've got him. And I'm still struggling to see it. However, it's getting better.
It is. And that's all you ask from Taco.
And there's still time. He's
been in the gym. He's been working on his game.
Well, that's something's clicking. If Peteri's trusting him enough to give him the starting nod, definitely some positives to take away. And more positives to take away, of course. None other than PJC. Once again, 25 points, 8 assists on the night. Just another standout game.
Might I just say, Dad, if you're watching this, don't disrespect PJC.
What did he say?
My dad, he's not that high on PJC, Finn. He claims he doesn't have that, standout elite player type of gameplay, like Xavier Cooks did. He was watching this game and he said Xavier Cooks just really comes up big in the clutch time, hitting those clutch shots, and PJC didn't. And I understand where you're coming from in that one game, Pops, but PJC, he is a top 3 player in the NBL. So let's put some more respect on PJC's name. How about that?
How are you going to say he's had a bad game with 25 and 8?
Yeah. To be fair, he didn't have the stats in front of him, but I mean, PJC, he's a phenomenal player.
Eye test,
exactly. So just had to mention that real quick. But like you said, another great game for PJC. When does he not have a good game?
No, I said it once and I'll say it again. PJC will not have less than 10 points in a Breakers jersey.
Stand on it, Finn.
He was very close a few times this season.
LeBron James of the NBL.
I'd put the house on it.
Whoa.
I don't actually own a house, so I can't do that.
One thing that surprised me in this one, Finn. No Mojave King. Your 6th man of the year pick. What's happened?
No playing time. None. I think this was a coach's decision.
Was it? No injuries? I haven't heard of any injuries.
I haven't. I mean, he's come back. He hasn't looked the same since he's returned from his pretty long-term injury. I don't know if it's still bothering him. There's been no reports, but very unexpected from Petteri not to give Mo King, an NBA draft pick from last year, no playing time in the NBL.
Yeah. Kareem Lopez, 18 points.
Continues.
14 field goal attempts on the night. Seems to be taking a bigger role with the team. So that's great to see. Obviously, we've got another year of him. So can't wait for that. I think if PJC comes back next year, which it's looking seemingly unlikely, Kareem could be our best player for the New Zealand Breakers in 2025-6 season.
Crazy.
Yeah.
That could happen. And the future is so bright for this kid, eh? It's actually insane. Obviously, he's going to be going up against Dyson Daniels' younger brother, Dash Daniels, in the league next year. Those two going at it.
Both
for
projected lottery picks.
First-round draft pick next year. It's going to be insane to watch. Kareem Lopez has continued to get better all year and just excels on so many different areas on the basketball court. And may I add, he's 17 years old.
It's crazy.
He is a child amongst men doing... honestly, impactful things in professional basketball leagues, in a league that could potentially go into a top 10 league in this world.
That's a question I actually asked myself the other day, Finn. He's 17 years old, so he couldn't be living by himself here in New Zealand. Would he be living with one of the coaches or something?
I don't know.
Because I haven't heard anything about his family coming over here
to live with him. They're not. I don't think so either.
So, I mean, he's almost like he's been adopted by a New Zealand family and he's playing basketball professionally.
Maybe one of the players took him in, one of the locals.
Yeah.
Or maybe he's just like boarding with Taco Fall. He's got his family over here.
True.
But love seeing what I'm seeing from Kareem, and knowing we have him for another year locked in brings a smile to my face.
And Dash Daniels, like you mentioned before, Finn, I've heard some people saying that he's like his brother Dyson Daniels, just a better shooter and a better scorer. That is scary. Because if anyone watches the NBA, they've seen how well Dyson Daniels is doing this year on the defensive end of the court. So that will be an interesting matchup. Dash versus Kareem.
Very exciting.
Can't wait for that.
Very, very exciting. All the boys down in Aussie getting some good... Alex Tui's probably going to get drafted next year. Rocco Zikarsky as well.
Yeah. Great time to be basketball fans down under.
Absolutely. Matt Mooney. Oh, Matt bloody Mooney.
Yep. That's all for Matt Mooney. And moving on.
Yep. 1 for 10 on the night. Let's continue.
Who are the standouts for Sydney? Let's run through those real quick. Obviously, Alex Tui had those big shots in the clutch time, showing all those NBA teams why they want to take this man. He finished with 21, 9 for 15 shooting, and he snagged 11 boards as well, Finn.
Damn.
So yeah, he's really making a statement that he should be one of these top picks in the upcoming NBA draft.
I think he's projected first round.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised. Long frame, scores on all three levels for the most part. He's going to do well. Another player stand out on Sydney last night, Kawhi Noi.
Off the bench,
26 points, 10 for 14. Efficient 26 from
Kawhi
Noi. He comes with. He could be a 6 man of the year shout.
He could
be a 6 man of the year shout. Jalen Adams, near triple-double, Will.
Yep, former MVP. Very, very well-rounded game. 17, 8, and 9. Like you said, near triple-double. That's what you want to see from your point guard. Finding his teammates, 9 assists. Love to see it. Got them over the line in this one.
Yeah, it was pretty clutch near the back end of the game, too. Yeah. Some nice middies, couple floaters. Get into his bag. What you want to see from Jalen Adams, pretty vintage.
And yeah, we moved to 0-7 in our last 7 games. So let's move on. Let's be optimistic, guys. We're going to win on Christmas Day. You heard it here first.
See, the thing is, right, don't write us off yet. We might be 7-10. We're only 2 or 3 wins out of the play-in tournament.
Yeah.
So we're still thereabouts.
We have a shot.
13 games remaining. We're going to need to win at least 8 out of the 13. Possible. Maybe even more.
At least 8 and 5. It's very, very possible for us to do. I mean, we started the season with a better record than that. So we were 7-2, weren't we?
7-1 maybe at some point.
If we can go on that sort of run and then win another 3 games, finish with another 10 wins, we're in.
It's possible.
Let's all have hope.
And let's hope that this game on Christmas Day is going to be the start of that against Tassie, which, is possible. Obviously, Tassie, we always struggle against them. We have both times we've played them this year. So, fingers crossed, a change in pace, Christmas Day game. Maybe they're a bit dusty. Too many champagnes in the morning.
Oh, Finn, you're reaching here, mate. But I hope you're right. But anyway, let's get into the NBA news.
Absolutely.
And how else would we start this off, Finn, without celebrating this man right here?
Oh, here we go. No, round of applause.
Yeah.
Round of applause. Look, Will.
Yeah, you take
Congratulations to Dame Dollar for finally winning something that wasn't the NBA Rookie of the Year.
No, he won the bubble MVP as well.
We don't count it.
No, we don't
count it. We don't count it. Obviously, NBA Cup, we're talking about here, team. Bucks got a pretty light win over the Oklahoma City Thunder. Giannis with a triple-double.
Defense wins championships.
Very, very, very good. Dame, a pretty solid game as well.
Dame is the best player on the Bucks, and if Giannis just passed the ball to him a little bit more and let him do his thing, they would have won this one 140-60. But Giannis likes to be a bit of a bull hog,
so if you want to be the new co-host on the Fast Break podcast, the advertisement is up on... No, I'm just kidding. Can we just talk about Darvin Ham's record in the NBA Cup, by the way?
14-0. 14-0.
No, is it 12-0 or 14-0?
4 pool games, quarters, semifinals. 14-0. Darvin Ham.
What?
Crazy.
Darvin Ham, Doc Rivers, winning... Who would have thought?
Maybe it wasn't the problem. And I know he had a lot to say about that after the game.
Yeah. Well, good on them.
I'm just so happy, Dame winning a championship. Let's not say which sort of championship. Let's just leave it at championship.
He won a cup.
No.
He won a cup.
In-season tournament cup championship.
He won a cup.
Cup championship.
Cup. Anyways, shout out the Bucks. Very well done. Looking pretty scary in the East.
They are, and they are coming for it all. Unlike the Lakers, who fell apart after they won it last year, the Bucks are going to be the first team in NBA history to win the in-season tournament and the NBA championship in the same season. So, stay tuned, guys, because I'll stop.
Let's move on to the trade season. Obviously, this is what we want to talk about. Nothing has really happened. However, a lot of murmurs going around, Will. Warriors, first of all, Steph Curry, what on earth, mate?
Oh, my God.
Draymond Green had a Tony Snell.
2 points for Steph Curry.
Oh, my God.
How on earth are people saying that Stephen Curry is better than Damian Lillard at this point in their careers? I said I'd stop.
We need
to
chill with the Dame dick sucking, honestly. We need to chill.
No. Okay, hear me out. Steph Curry's a better player than Dame all time. There's no debating that. But this season, Steph Curry has regressed. And if you guys go away and do your own research, watch Warriors games, look at his stat line, he has significantly regressed in the Warriors jersey. He's averaging 23 this season, Finn.
I know you want to piss a lot of people off, and I know one person in particular that's not going to like that take.
He's averaging 23. Stats don't lie. And I mean, his 2-point performance on 0 field goals, those were from 2 free throws, might I add.
Yeah, I know.
It is crazy. And the Warriors need to do something because that hot streak they started on, it's
slowly going away. Well, obviously, I've heard a little rumor that they're looking to ship their young core.
Yep.
Pods, Kuminga, and Moody on the chopping block.
The asking price has been dropped on all 3 of them, apparently.
Oh. Is this a potential leeway for the Blazers to maybe send something over to the...
Well, I don't know if I want them anymore. I don't want Pods, that's for sure.
Yeah, Pods...
That guy's useless.
Considering he was a rookie first-team player last season...
Crazy.
I don't think it was crazy. I think he was pretty good last year.
Scoot existed.
Okay. Pods is having a very average year. Very average. He hasn't backed it up at all.
No. I don't think I'd like to see him in a Portland Trailblazers jersey.
What
Kuminga,
about Kumbucket and Mooney?
I'd like Kuminga.
Yeah.
Kuminga would be a good
Kling Kong and Kumbucket in the front court.
Why not? Klingathan Kongathan, as I like to call him.
Yeah, you do.
Klingathan Kongathan. We'll take Kuminga. We'll do it. How about a straight up swap? Kuminga and Jeremy Grant.
Who says no?
I think if anyone says no, it's the Blazers.
I think the Warriors don't want a Jeremy Grant shooting like 35% from the field.
Yeah, he's had a very, very bad
Jimmy Butler, where is he on the move, first of all?
Yeah.
What is the best likely situation for him to land in your opinion? Obviously, there's been quite a few teams in rumors surrounding Jimmy and where he might end up.
I've seen the Warriors.
I've seen Warriors, Suns, I think Thunder were somehow amongst them, Mavs.
Yeah.
Personally, I think he fits in all... Maybe, actually, I wouldn't like to see him on the Thunder. I think that takes away from their core that they're already building.
Yeah.
Suns, I would like if Bradley Beal is part of the package. I think that's a good pickup for the Suns. And Mavs, I'm not sure how on earth they secure him or get him enough ball, but
Yeah, I don't like him on the Mavs.
No.
There's too much ball in the hands of Luka and Kyrie over there. I want to see him on the Warriors. I think they need that clear... I'll give Steph his flowers. He's still a phenomenal player. But he needs a second guy on that team, and that no one has stepped up to help him out.
Dennis Schroeder going over.
Dennis Schroeder is not going to be your number 2 option on a championship.
They have announced that Dennis Schroeder will be starting at the point guard going forward. I'm pretty sure. Steph Curry moving to the 2.
You can't win a championship with Dennis Schroeder as your second best player.
I don't think you can win a championship with a center who is only 6'8" and Trace Jackson Davis either. So.
Yeah, that's why I'm saying I think Jimmy Butler fits perfectly in Golden State.
Yeah.
He brings that dog, and he brings a extremely talented, playoff experienced player. So that's where I want to see him go. What about you?
I think the Suns would be a pretty cool fit if Bradley Beal's part of the package.
Yeah.
I think he would be a pretty good fit there defensively. Works well off the ball. Obviously, KD, back from his injury, has been hooping recently.
Yeah.
Clear-cut the best player on the Suns. Devin Booker having a pretty good year too. I think adding a defensive-minded Jimmy Butler to your team who won't be having to do a lot of the carrying on offense, obviously can translate his game a bit more into a defensive-focused mindset, might be what the Suns need.
Yeah. And another player that's rumored to be on the move, Finn, Zach LaVine.
I've seen that too.
This one, I would almost guarantee you guys, it's much more likely than Jimmy Butler, if you ask me.
Yeah, there's been murmurs about Zach LaVine being moved from the Bulls for like a number of seasons now.
Yeah.
I feel like
I think it's finally time to blow it up. They've got a lot of young pieces that they want.
Kobe
to be building
White
around.
needs to be their next guy.
Josh Giddey, they've got there now as well. Ayo Donsumu, he's been having an all right year. I think they need to move on from Zach. And the place where I want to see him go is the Lakers.
Who do the Lakers really give up, though? Obviously, they don't have a lot of pieces they can give up, but
I think
you'd have to chuck in somebody like D'Lo in there, I think.
I think give them D'Lo and Bronny James.
Bronny James is untouchable, unfortunately. Maybe like a Cam Reddish or something in there.
Yeah.
Jackson Hayes, potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe a few picks if they have any, but...
D'Lo in a second might get the job done.
I don't think...
No.
No, I think Zach LaVine is
D'Lo
far...
in a first. D'Lo in a first.
Maybe D'Lo in a first. Zach LaVine probably on the move, though. Very likely. Very, very likely. Trade season, obviously, we're going to keep it all updated with everything that's going on, but nothing has happened yet, but lots of rumors, and it's a very exciting time for NBA fans, because we just love it when teams blow it up midway through the season.
Yeah. Have there been any standout performances for you this year, Finn?
One might come
this
to mind.
week, might I?
Does one come to mind recently?
Don't say it.
Some little Frenchman. Might be 7'5" on the Spurs. He might have had double digit. Might have had double digit blocks. I'm not sure. Did he have double digit blocks?
I don't know, Finn.
Victor Wembanyama 10 blocks against none other than Portland. I think he had 42 points as well.
No, that was another game.
Oh.
He had 30 in this one.
Oh.
Yep, I watched every single one of those 10 blocks, and wasn't nice to watch as a Portland fan.
Yeah.
But thank God he didn't get the triple-double, so shame.
Yeah.
Shame Wembanyama, you didn't get a triple-double with blocks against the Portland Trailblazers.
Yeah. He's been going crazy. Pretty good year for Wemby, backing it up from his Rookie of the Year performance last year, of course. I mean, how many more years do we have to give him till he's in a contention for a GOAT debate? How many championships and MVPs will he need?
I mean, obviously, you have to give him a lot of years. He's not going to be called the GOAT in 5 years.
Oh, no way.
If he won 5 straight MVPs and championships,
okay, they might be up for debate.
So I might take back that statement.
However, unlikely on the Spurs.
Highly unlikely.
Look, injury-free 15-year season for Wemby, surrounded by good players and a good coach. Loyal to the Spurs, where he doesn't jump around. And he does some crazy things. He could slot into top 10.
Has Chris Paul for the next 15 years as well.
Chris Paul just dishing dimes out at like the right age of 60.
Chris Paul in a wheelchair, just getting pushed around on the court by Jeremy Sohan, still throwing dimes.
Oh,
who knows?
Crazy.
One other standout performance from the week that I want to mention: Jimmy Butler, 35, 19, and 10.
Crazy.
I did not see that coming. That's
he got
definitely
trade
his best
rumors
game.
came out, and he's like, "Let me just open real quick, get my value up."
Have you seen him dyeing his braids?
I have seen
the
that.
colors of the teams he's rumored to be traded to. I
That's
found that
crazy.
hilarious.
He is a generational troll.
Oh, I love Jimmy
I love
Butler.
it for him as well. A little bit of a table update. Cavs still ahead 25-4 in the Eastern Conference, still doing some good bits there. Bucks slowly moving up too. Wizards did last. Shock. Raptors still on their ethical tanking run of 7 of 21. And shout out the 76ers, baby. Paul George, how's that going for you? Hey! Should have stayed with us, baby.
Well, I mean, being that he's one of your favourite players of all time, Finn, shouldn't you be having a little bit more love for your former player, even though he left your team? I mean,
I love
do you
him.
ever see me slandering Damian Lillard on the Bucks?
Yeah, but the Bucks are doing well.
Yeah.
I love Paul George. Can't say I've watched really a single 76ers game this year or know how good he's doing. That's pretty poor from me being one of my favourite players. But, yes, shame 76ers. RIP Jared McCain.
Do we ever see Joel Embiid return to his MVP form? Finn?
No.
I don't think we do we?
Because you know why? He will never play more than 40 games in a season.
Yeah. Sad for Sixers fans.
Whipping over to the Western Conference, Thunder up on top. Memphis Grizzlies doing Grizzlies things. Obviously, they're looking really good this year. And the Rockets, still up there, 18-9.
Yeah, they lost that number 2 seed, which I think was inevitable. I think they'll still be a play-in team. I don't know.
You think they're going to drop?
I don't know if they're guaranteed.
You think they drop below 6?
I think they do. I think they do. I think the Mavs jump them, the Nuggets jump them, the Blazers jump them, and the Lakers jump them.
Okay. Yeah. My Pookie Bear Clippers 16-13, just a loss to the Mavs today. They're sitting at 8, still doing a lot better than I thought they would be.
Slowly starting to lose a few games though.
Yeah, here and there. We're 4-2 in our last 6, so not horrid.
But you're like 5 for 17 in your last 5 and 12 in your last 17.
Something like that. It's not great. We're not doing horrible though. Kawhi Leonard was due to come back before Christmas, obviously not looking likely. However, I'm pretty sure he is participating in team practices, so it's only a matter of time before the robot finally makes his way back, the human cyborg. So
he's your only chance at salvation.
Wow.
Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, I think.
Will he be your savior?
I think we're a playing team this year. I genuinely think we are a playing team this year, despite whether Kawhi Leonard comes back or not.
Biased aside, I agree with you on that one, and I'll even go as far to say, you're gonna love this, Finn. If Kawhi comes back and he's still prime Kawhi, I think you guys are gonna be a real playoff contender.
Really?
I think the Clippers will be a top 6 seed in the Western Conference. If Kawhi comes back, you know what? I'll go as far to say the Clippers will be a top 4 seed in the Western Conference. A fully healthy Kawhi for the rest of the season, prime Kawhi dropping 25, 26 a night, the Clippers are a top 4 seed.
Crazy. The thing is, right, when Kawhi comes back, Norman Powell probably gets shifts off to the bench.
It's alright though.
If Kawhi Leonard can't produce Norman Powell's number, we might be in trouble. But Norman Powell's efficiency off the bench might help us quite a bit. So I'm not really sure.
Wouldn't you keep Norm at the 2 though? He's a
Nah.
natural 2.
We won't.
Harden at the 1, Norm at the 2.
Defensively, we need Chris Dunn starting.
You do.
Because we have a top 4 defense in the NBA. For obvious reasons.
Fair enough.
Shout out Jeff Van Gundy for that one.
That's a little bit of a table update though, guys, in the NBA. We've got an exciting segment to end out
I'm
the
looking forward to
podcast
this.
this week.
I'm so looking forward to this.
We've been doing our studying for the last couple of hours. Who we're going to take. We've got another draft style segment for you guys. Kiwi sportsman in an NBA team, 1 through 5, with a 6th man and a coach. Obviously, we can't have basketball players.
No.
Sorry, Steven Adams. Sorry to any Kiwis in the NBL. Outside of that, all athletes are on the table, Finn.
Past or present.
Past or present.
And past or present coaches if you decide not to use a player as your coach.
Yeah, your coach can be a player or a coach. If
Correct.
that makes sense.
That does make sense.
But
anyway,
we're going to start it off with a iconic
1, 2, 3, shoot.
paper, scissors, rock.
1, 2, 3, shoot.
1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot. 1, 2, 3, shoot.
Yes!
Damn.
Boom.
Finn gets the first pick, guys. Lead us off, Finn.
I'm going to go straight to my 6th man here, actually.
I gotta get my notes up real quick.
Going straight to my 6th man.
You're sick,
I'm going straight to my 6th man. Thought I'd pick him.
Damn, okay.
A workmate and a friend of mine. You could say he's quite clutch. Gives me some Lou Williams type-esque 6-man vibes here. The 2011 Rugby World Cup champion Stephen Beaver Donald at my 6th man.
Damn, that's a good pick.
Some
Comes
could
up
say
in
he's
the
pretty
clutch.
clutch.
Yeah. I like that from you, Finn. Stephen Donald, 6th man. For me, my first pick, I'm going to go to my power forward spot, Finn.
Oh, yeah.
An absolute bully. You know, he's going to be pushing everybody around. No one's going to be able to stop this man when he's driving into the paint. And if they dare try to stop him, he's going to knock them out cold.
Oh.
David Tua.
Oosh.
Absolute legend in the boxing community. Yeah. Who's stopping David Tua, Finn? Give me a power forward who's going to stop him.
I probably don't have a power forward that could stop him, and I'm not going to go there first. I'm going straight to my point guard.
Okay.
One of the best facilitators in rugby history, Daniel Carter.
Mate. No. Okay.
DC at my point guard.
Wouldn't you want...
Nope.
You've just reminded me of something here, Finn.
Oh, God.
Point guard. What is the point guard supposed to do?
Score. He's
No.
also...
Pass.
Pass and
That's
score.
a traditional point guard. It's supposed to be an elite passer. Mm-hmm. And who else is a better passer of all time in the All Blacks than Aaron Smith?
Aaron Smith.
Aaron Smith at my point guard. Bit smaller, but
One of the
that's
best.
all
One of the best halfbacks of all time.
right. The greatest New Zealand halfback of all time.
He'd be up there for sure.
No, he is.
He is.
And
Yeah.
in the world, he's up there as well. But in New Zealand,
Cam
hands down.
Roygaard coming for that though. By the way.
Who knows?
Okay, you know what we're gonna do? We're actually gonna go to my power forward, and
Okay.
I don't know how this guy's gonna go against David Tua, but let's just say he likes to score goals and likes to finish well. Chris Wood at my power forward spot, the big Kiwi for Nottingham Forest, and top
that's hard to
5
pick
in
him.
goals scored in the EPL this year. Chris Wood.
Okay. That's a good pick. I love that pick from you, Finn. I'm going with my center spot.
Oh God.
And obviously you want your center to be tall. I think this guy could throw down some dunks pretty easily.
Yeah.
What do you think of height when you think of Kiwi athletes? Obviously we can't go basketball. I think of rugby locks.
Oh, I think.
And who is greater than the greatest lock in New Zealand history? Most caps of all time, Sam Whitelock.
Yeah. Big fan of that one.
Sam Whitelock at my center. Put it up to the rim
I'm a
and he'll
fan.
throw it down.
I'm a fan. Look, it's funny. I'm going to go with my center and try and one up you on this. When you think of tall, lanky, jumping men,
Okay.
who would you go
I
with?
know who you're going with.
A gold medalist from the 2024 Paris Olympics
Yeah.
from high jump, Hamish Kerr
Okay.
at my center position.
I like that pick. Who's taller out of him and Sam Whitelock?
Sam Whitelock. I actually don't know how tall Hamish Kerr is, but I'll tell you what, he can jump pretty damn high.
He can. That's a good pick, Finn. He'll be throwing down some mean dunks in game.
That's Hamish Kerr at my center position.
I'm starting to run out of names, but one that I know for sure I want to put on here, maybe might be a bit of recency bias. I'm going to go with Liam Lawson
Ooh.
at my shooting guard.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Absolute speedster, bit like Lightning McQueen.
Does he bring the Red Bull car onto the court?
Who knows? He'll bring some Red Bull refreshments to his teammates, keep them going throughout the game.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, the fastest player of all New Zealand athletes, obviously.
Technically,
He had a
'cause
car
he
to
has a
go with
car.
him.
He has a car.
Who's going to stop him from racing around the court, you might say?
Well, I'll give you my shooting guard last, then how about that? We'll go to my small forward. Bit of a bruiser, giving me some Max Darling vibes, but he's also very fast and athletic. All Black winger Caleb Clark at my small forward position.
It's a great pick.
Yep.
Caleb Clark. Some other great wingers you could have gone with there, Finn.
I know, I might have.
One that you might
I might have
just,
missed. I had him written
You've
down.
just given
I had
to
him
me.
written down.
I don't, like, big fan of Caleb Clark, don't get me
Oh.
wrong. But how are you going to choose Caleb Clark over this guy that you've just given me as a layup? The GOAT of rugby, Jonna Lomu.
Bro,
Get on my
you know
team,
what's so
Jonna
bad
Lomu.
about this? I have him written down.
That's terrible.
Oh.
That's so poor from you. Jonna Lomu is just running straight over Caleb Clark.
God.
How are you going to make up for that one? Last pick.
Well, I'm going to need someone flashy at shooting guard.
Okay.
Somebody who knows how to score. And also might need to throw out a few dimes here and there too.
Okay.
Going for one of the greats in rugby league.
Ooh, rugby league.
We're going to Sean Johnson, mate.
Sean Johnson.
Sean Johnson at my shooting guard position.
Fair. I'm a bit lost here for my last pick. But my sixth man, who's going to come in, bring the energy. And I noticed none of us... I mean, I thought for sure you'd have a cricketer on your team, Finn.
There is a cricketer coming.
There is? Okay, well, I was going to go with a cricketer here at sixth man. But if you've got one coming, I'm going to leave him.
For coach.
For coach, okay. For sixth man for me then, I'm going to bring in someone who packs a punch. You know, I've got David Tua in there starting at the power forward. Maybe he can, when he gets a little bit tired, he can swap out with another boxing great from New Zealand. Joseph Parker.
Yeah, fair play.
Welcome to the team, Joseph.
Fair play.
Going to bring that energy off the bench. Leaves us with our coaches, Finn.
All right, well, my coach, cool, calm, collected, and consistent at the crease. Steady the ship. Kane Williamson as my coach.
Great pick. Great pick.
Knows how to lead a team. Obviously not not the captain for the Black Caps anymore, but has had a good stint. Averages 55 in Test cricket, just quietly.
Love that. So he's not actually going to suit up for you. He's just
No, he's just there. He's there for the vibes, for the wisdom, for the wisdom.
You know who used to be there for the vibes in one of these previous drafts? Groot. Remember that?
Groot was there for the vibes.
Groot was there for the vibes too. Are you comparing Groot and Kane Williamson?
Hell no.
Damn, that's a bit rude. Anyway, my coach.
Yeah.
I'm going with an actual coach.
I know who you're going with.
Do you?
I think I have a feeling.
Okay. Yeah, this guy's not actually an athlete. I mean, to be fair, he's had his fair share of kickboxing fights, if that gives any hints.
I know exactly who this is.
Yeah. Probably the greatest coach in mixed martial arts over the last 5 or 6 years. He's raised up.
Is that bias?
No. I mean, he won Coach of the Year a couple years back. Gym of the Year as well, CKB. I mean, he's coached Israel Adesanya to a world title. Volkanovski's in there. Dan Hooker, Kai Kara France, the whole CKB team. And it all comes down to this man, Eugene Behrman. He's going to be our coach for this team.
Yeah, big fan.
Let's quickly run through our teams, Finn.
You want to go through yours first?
Yeah. So at the point guard, I've got Aaron Smith. Shooting guard, Liam Lawson. Small forward, John Olomu. Power forward, David Tua. Center, Sam Whitelock. Sixth man's Joseph Parker. And our coach is Eugene Behrman.
You've got some large human beings. I've got some more wiry, athletic people. Hopefully I can run circles around them on the court. We'll run through my team. At point guard, Daniel Carter, one of the greatest rugby players of all time. Shooting guard, Sean Johnson. At my small forward, we're going Caleb Clark. Power forward, Chris Wood knows how to finish. Hamish Kerr, getting up there at my center position. Sixth man, the clutch, Stephen Beaver Donald. And at coach, we've got Kane Williamson to steady the ship.
Let us know, guys, whose draft is the best in the comments down below. And who would you pick in an all-time Kiwi athletes draft for basketball? Cheers for tuning in.